Everyone, welcome back to Breslov Efrat here at Daven, Baruch Hashem. Really another beautiful, beautiful day here in Eretz Yisrael, specifically in Efrat. It's so special, Baruch Hashem. Thank you, Hashem, for the opportunity. Okay, so we're learning Likutey Halachos, Baruch Hashem, and we're in Hilchos Birchas Hamazon, the laws of Bentching, and we're in Halacha Gimel, and today we're up to Ches 8, so 3:8. Okay, so we were learning, just to review a little bit yesterday, the idea of when you have benching, to have a complete, the full experience of a Suda is to have 3 people at the Suda, right? That's the full experience. You want to have the full experience, you have to have 3 people, right? And then we said that one person will deliver the Dvar Torah, because we said we don't want to have a Suda without the Dvar Torah at the table, right? If not, it's like you're sitting and having your Zivchei Mesim, right? That's no good. We don't like that, right? So we want to have our Dvar Torah. Then there's 2 other people. So the 2 other people listen to what the person's saying, right? And then they discuss it over with themselves. And everyone internalizes themselves. And then that's the best way that you can actually learn, right? Because we said if you try to learn, if you learn something, but you don't then stop and think it over and internalize it, it just goes in one ear, out the other ear. It doesn't affect the person at all. Right? So that's a very, very important idea. Then we brought many beautiful ideas of threes. We said that the Torah is 3 because we have Torah, Nevi'im, and Kesuvim, right? The Torah was given to us on the 3rd day of preparation. Right, Moshe Rabbeinu said we have to prepare ourselves for 3 days. Right, the Torah was given to us by the 3rd person, who was Moshe Rabbeinu, because Moshe Rabbeinu was the 3rd child. Right, you had Miriam, was the oldest sister, and then he had Aharon, was his older brother, and then Moshe Rabbeinu. Right, amazing, right? All these beautiful things of 3s. Okay, we had the Kohen, and the Kohen gives us 3 blessings, right? Thank you, Kohen, for giving us the 3 blessings. Okay, so that was the ideas of yesterday, and it's just really remarkable, the things that we got to learn. And it's very important that we always internalize things and we discuss things over with people, okay? Now, here we go. Let's start out with Ches. Okay, here we go. Okay, when it comes to the Kais Shel Bracha, again, there is an idea to have a kos even when you have 3 people, okay? But there's specifically the idea to have a kos, a cup of wine, when you have 10 people, right?
Oh, okay.
Right, when you have 10 people, you're supposed to have a cup of wine. Okay, and then there's also 10 ideas when it comes to the cup itself. We wash the cup, we clean the cup shouldn't be dented, the cup, and so on. There are 10 different things to do with the cup. Okay, ki zeh bechinas yud bechinas kodesh, because that's yud is the idea of the point again from the malupim. We said that the malupim is the vowel that has the line and the dot in the middle. The yud is like the little dot in the middle. Kodesh ki kaisu bechinas malchus peh. Kais is Malchus Peh, okay? We know that Malchus today is Bepeh, right? The Arizal teaches us that also, right? Malchus is Bepeh, Malchus is we speak of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that's Malchus Bepeh. Bebechinas Kais Yeshua's Esa, that will lift up our kos, Yeshua's Esa will lift up the salvation, right? Hanema beDavid HaMelech Olav HaSholem, Malchus Peh, Meya Nekuda Shu Bechinas Malupim, this idea of the Malupim again. Okay, so the Malupim is the idea that they have the tzaddik, the students of the tzaddik, giving over, benching. That's the whole idea. We said the whole experience of eating is that someone gives over a lesson at the meal. Other people listen to it, they discuss it, they work it through, they internalize it, and so on. Okay, V'ayidei nekuda malin umekashrin halev el nekuda mevatin cherpas halev, and the main thing is to get the Torah into the heart, right? Because again, we have in the heart, because there's the old joke that they say that the Litvaks always wear a tie, right? They want to separate the mayach to the heart. The neck is separating the heart, right? So they wear a tie to make sure it's nice and tight. So they keep in the mind, they keep what they learn in the mind, right? They don't want it to, it's a lima. That's a lit for shigarto, exactly. You heard that, right? Yeah. It's not, I didn't make it up. Yeah, but the whole point is to get it into the heart, so that way we can change the way we do things, and we can feel things. You want to say something, Don?
What's the lit for shigarto?
A tie.
A
necktie. A necktie.
Yeah.
And make sure you put up real tight.
There's extensions. So the Muslims, they wear over here.
They wear what?
Over here, Muslims, they have this.
Oh, they put it around the head, so it should stay light in the head. It shouldn't go anywhere.
That's where they put their girdle. Huh?
Wow, okay. Okay. All right. Okay. V'zeh bechinas hayayin shel kodesh shel bracha ki ikar tikun hayayin hu hayadei nekuda. The main way to have the repair for wine, we're going to see in a moment, is through this nekuda, is through the idea of Torah, the tzaddik shu bechinas tzaddik bechinas tikun habris bechinas kola roya saita b'kul kola yazir atzmoi min hayayin. Okay, the Gemara in Bracha says this, right, in Saita, and if someone sees, it happens to see the idea that there's a Saita, right, a lady that was suspected, right, and then she was brought to the Beis Hamikdash, and then the whole situation, okay, so that person should keep away from wine, all right? Because you can only drink wine b'kedusha if you have tikkun abris, right? Like, you have all the goyim, they get together for their parties and they have their wine, their champagne, and all the things, but it's all about pagam abris, right? That's the whole idea, right? Is that true, right? The whole idea of the holiday parties and all of that stuff, right? It's all about pagam habris. But we want to drink wine. We want to drink wine b'kedusha. So to drink wine b'kedusha, you have to have the bris, tikkun habris, shmiras habris, shmiras einayim. Okay, v'oz hu bechinas yayin yismach leiv, and then Chazal teach us. Then the wine can bring joy to the heart. If you drink wine without kedusha, so then the wine brings depression to the heart. Right, the person becomes depressed from drinking the wine. But if you're drinking wine, because again it's a mitzvah, right? Here it's a koshel bracha, right? You're having when you make kiddush, that's a koshel bracha, right? So when I'm making kiddush, I'm making mekadesh the Shabbos on the cup of wine. Of course, that's something of holiness. So then that wine can bring me joy to my heart. Again, to cover up the embarrassment of the heart for the shortcomings, for the wrongdoings that I may have done. Right, you understand? And that's how you can be mevatel, again, the embarrassment of the heart. The wine has within it two aspects. And what is that? Zocha nasa roish. If you are meritorious and you drink the wine in the right way, you'll become ahead. It'll lift the person up. But if he doesn't, then it's going to be the other way around. Kisham ikar habeira v'atikun kika ashvira haya yedei chet adam arishon yedei achilas eitz hadas ve'eitz hadas hu bechinas yayin kamei shomer b'seinin zchayin l'bracha. Okay, there's many different opinions of what the eitz hadas was. Okay, some say it was wheat, some say it was wine, some say it was an esrog, there's many different. Here we're going to take the opinion of that it was actually wine. Shechota anovim benosna loy. Okay?
What if you're sure it wasn't an apple?
It was not an apple. No one says it was an apple, right?
People say that.
What?
People say that, that's not true.
No one says it's an apple. People say, but you won't find the source in okay. And therefore, when every time we say shir, we have song, we always have wine. right? And that's why in the Beis Hamikdash there was always the wine libations, right? The Levium was singing song, and there were wine libations. Only one time of the year there was the water libations, that was on Sukkot, right? But all the time there was always wine. So wine is synonymous with song, okay? Kikol Ashiras Hein Bechinas Lei, because all songs come again connected to the heart. Kedei la'oire l'kasha alev la'Hashem Yisbarach, and then that's the idea that we were learning with Rabbi Kramer in lesson 2 in Likutey Maran. The idea that again, song can connect you to Hakadosh Baruch Hu if you listen to it the right way, from the right person. From a menagin kosher, if he has the right ideas and he's trying to bring you to Hashem, the song can help you connect to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So to wine, right? Nichnas yayin yotze soid, right? A person takes in wine, and then it can lift the person's mind, where the person can then speak out what he really wants to say. Okay. Kenira b'chush ha'idei ha'shir v'hazemra v'hanigan nis'oira alev miyoid la'Hashem Yisbarach v'chinas libi u'b'sari yiradnu el kel chai. Right, beautiful song, right? You know that song? Libi u'b'sari yiradnu.
How's it go? Sing it.
Libi u'b'sari yiradnu. Okay, wait. It's a beautiful song. It's a beautiful idea. Al kain. Ein oimim shir ella ala yayin. Therefore, you don't say shir only on wine. Anytime the song is always connected with wine, and that's why Shabbos, when we have wine, we always sing zmiris at the table. That's why the zmiris is so important, because you're connecting the wine with the song. Okay. Ki ze ikar tikun shel shir lekasher alev ela nekuda b'peh. The main thing is to connect the lave with the peh. The lave with the peh. This is amazing, because we're going to actually learn in Kitzur Shulchan Aruch today in 13, the idea when you have somebody, if someone wronged you, you actually have to tell the person what he did wrong, because it's the mitzvah of Haichiach es taichiach es hamisecha, right? If someone did something wrong, don't keep the hatred, don't bear the grudge in your heart, right? Again, lekasha alev ela nekuda, to connect the heart again to the nekuda. Kedei shayedei zeh yistakin hayayin ve'yeh b'chinas yayin yismach leiv enosh. Therefore, the wine will then be able to bring joy to the person. So, in other words, if you bring song together with your wine, especially if it's Shabbos, it's Yontiv, and you have song, and you have a beautiful song to connect you to the Chag, connect you to the Shabbos, connect you to Klal Yisrael, to Eretz Yisrael, to our Kadosh Baruch Hu. So of course that's going to be great. V'zeh b'chinas birchas hamazon b'shloisha ala kois al yayin ki oz meir anekuda b'shleimas. That's when. So again, we don't generally. People are not generally doing that. When 3 people are, you don't generally have a cup of wine. But if you can, it's a good thing. Otherwise, every time you have a suda and you have a cup of wine, that's a very, very good thing, because again, that's the shleimus of the thing, because you'll then get the wine. The wine will help to bring joy to the heart, which will cover up the cherpa of the heart, right? Which will bring the person closer to HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
I think Halachos says the chayvim lezamen ala kos.
Yeah. But again, that's not the minhag that we do, and most people are not doing that. But if you want to do it b'shleimus, that's the way you do it b'shleimus, like you said, and that's what the kitzah brings down.
Well, what if there's just one person, like you and your spouse or something?
So there are, okay, I've seen that. That some people will take a kos even they're by themselves. But that's very, very uncommon.
Why is Yud Kedusha?
What?
Yud equals Kedusha.
Right. There are 10 different things to do with a kos. Tina, shtifa, there's different things to do with a kos. It can't be dented, it can't be this. You have to wash the cup, dry the cup, and outside the cup, inside the cup. Just the laws of cups.
Right. That's in Shulchan Aruch?
Yeah. 10 different things.
And so that has to do with...
And then we have the 10 mitzvahs of the bread, together with the 10 things of the cup, together with the Aseres Adibras, together as the Mamara, Israel, all together. Okay, now let's go to Tess, because Tess is talking about Chanukah. How do we like that? It's mamash beautiful, right? On Sunday night, we just figured out there's going to be the first candle, right? So let's learn about Chanukah. Okay, Tess, everyone have the place? Zeh bechinas Chanukah. Ki zeh bechinas hadlokas ner Chanukah. Ki ner Chanukah zeh bechinas or nekuda kedosh shemeir bechinas or v'ner umay ereres umekasheres halev laHashem yisbarach. Again, the light. Okay, we're going to learn a lot about this idea of the candle and the light. Okay, there's the candle and the light, right? Ner mitzvah v'Torah or. Right, we know the concept. Ner mitzvah v'Torah or. Okay. V'zeh bechinas ner Chanukah bechinas ner mitzvah v'Torah or ki ha-nekuda he bechinas Torah or, because that nekuda is the Torah, the light of the Torah. Okay, the nekuda. Again, back to the malupim, right? The nekuda, the little dot, is the or from the Torah. The same way you have the candle, and then you have the flame, right? That is the same. That's the same idea. Kihi ma'ira u'ma'ireres halei, because that is what can light and awaken the heart. That's why it's a special mitzvah when you have with the ner Chanukah. It's not we don't light the menorah and then we walk away. Most mitzvahs, you do the mitzvah, you walk away. No, specifically the mitzvah of Chanukah is to sit and watch the candles. You want to absorb the light, the aragonas, from the candles. You want to absorb it. That's why there's a mitzvah specifically of the re'iyah to see the candles. The idea that we're lighting up this nekuda. Okay, we're lighting up the nekuda of the tzaddik. He's going to explain. V'zeh bechinas ner shel shemen. Bechinas shemen mishchas chodesh. The idea of shemen. Shemen mishchas chodesh is drawing kedusha. Shemen draws kedusha. Okay, bechinas moshach revus kedusha. Shehu bechinas hamoichin shezeh bechinas nekuda. Shehu bechinas tzaddik. Bechinas Yosef, who Hashalit, Yosef was the ruler. Okay, connecting Yosef to this too. It's amazing. Nimshach bebechinas chachma ubina k'may b'vay b'mayim now. Okay, the hainu hamoichin shehem bechinas shemen mishchas chodesh umisham iker bechinas hanekuda. From the oil comes the actual the nekuda, connecting it to Yosef. Shehu bechinas tzaddik nimshach misham, coming from that point, because again it's connected to the or of Torah, right? So the tzaddik is connected to the light of the Torah. Zeh bechinas ner Chanukah, bechinas lamshocha meshach ruvois kedusha hadloka botzina, in order to draw the oil and to draw the kedusha to light the candle. Shemamshichin shemen mishchas chodesh mishach ruvois kedusha shehem bechinas hamshachas nekuda bechinas tzaddik nimsheches misham. Okay, so let's just what are we talking about here? So we know that Yosef Tzaddik is connected to the mitzvah of Chanukah as well. Yosef said, okay, I'll explain it to you. Yosef says, uses an example of when Yaakov Avinu passes away, and the brothers now are nervous about Yosef. What's he going to do? So he uses the example like this: if 10 candles couldn't put out one candle, how could one candle put out 10? Right? That was his example he used. Medrash says. That was the Medrash says. That was the example he used. In other words, there were 10 brothers that tried to knock him out, but they couldn't do that.
Right.
So how can one candle knock out the 10? You understand?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And he actually said that this reference is made actually 4 times. He makes this reference through the Medrash. The Medrash says the reference is actually 4 times. So if you take 11 times 4 is 44. That's the candles of Chanukah. It's interesting.
I thought it was 36.
Hmm?
It comes out to 44. I thought it was 36.
With the shamas is 44.
Shabbos,
Yeah.
okay, that's why.
With the shamas is 44. Okay, so again, the tzaddik is always connected to the light. It also says about Yaakov Avinu that Yaakov Avinu had in his stick. Yaakov Avinu kept in his stick. He had oil in his stick. He had his staff that he carried, that he said he b'makli over Sayarden, but b'makli. He made sure to keep his makel, his stick. Why? Because in there he kept his oil, so he was able to learn at night. He always had oil with him. Yaakov Avinu always had oil with him. And that's why it says when he came to Beiskel, he was able to anoint Where did he get oil from? Oh, he had oil with him. Yaakov Avinu traveled with oil. Interesting. So the tzaddik is connected to oil, tzaddikim are connected to light, and so on and so on. Okay? I'm talking on the Kuda. Bechina tzaddik. V'ayidei zeh meya or v'haner ki al yedei zeh meirin am oirin halev la'Hashem yisbarach lebechinas ner mitzvah v'Torah or. Again, the idea of ner mitzvah and the Torah is the or. Right? You got that? Ki ha-Torah who gam came bechinas ha-nekuda, because the Torah is also a nekuda, right? The Torah is also the nekuda, the same way we said that the tzaddik is a nekuda, but in the malupim the Torah is also connected to the nekuda as well. Bechinas bris, ki ha-Torah nikras bris, bechinas or nekuda. The same idea, the whole idea. The Torah is a bris. The Torah is a treaty. HaKadosh Baruch Hu made a bris with us. Right, the whole idea of the Torah. Yud v'zos hamitzvah shel adokis ner Chanukah onu mekayim b'chol shana v'shana. It's interesting that we have this mitzvah of Chanukah that we do every single year, and it's truly a remarkable thing because we know the Chashmonaim. None of the Chashmonaim actually remained. You know that, right? None of the Chashmonaim actually remained because they kept the Malchus for themselves, right? They became, in other words, they were from Shevet Levi, they were Kohanim, right? The Kahuna was given over to Yehuda, not to the Kohanim. But because they didn't give back the Malchus to Yehuda, they wound up dying. But we don't take away from them what they did, the Mesiras Nefesh that they did, right? The Kohanim, these Chashmonaim still went up against this very powerful army. Could you imagine? There was 10 or 12 of them, 13 of them. We're not sure how many exactly there were. 13 of them. How many were there? There wasn't that many of them, but they went up against this powerful army. It's amazing, right? But this mitzvah we do every single year. This is the last mitzvah. This is the last mitzvah that Chazal gave us, right? Chanukah is the last mitzvah that Chazal gave us. There's talk about the fact that we know that Purim will always be, and others say that also Chanukah will also always remain. Okay, so these two mitzvahs are very special, Purim and Chanukah. Kedei l'shaber lachniya malchus harishoy medes aleinu. Wow, how do you like that? By us lighting the same way we were able to subdue the Greeks at the time, and we were able to do what we had to do. So therefore, every year we light the menorah, and we actually have the power with the menorah to put out our enemies. Isn't that amazing? It's amazing. I made this aleinu. B'chol dor v'dor, b'chol zman v'zman, levatel oisanu me'avaydasa yizbarach chas v'shalom. Because every year, the same way the Greeks came, and they were trying to mevatel us from learning Torah, and they wanted us to separate us from our connection to Hashem. That was what their whole goal was. So too today, we have the same nations of the world are doing the same thing again, trying to constantly take us away from connecting to Hashem. Whether they're doing it by coercing us or they're doing it by enticing us, it makes no difference. It's either way, that's what they're doing. Lashkichoi Tairosoi la'aver al chukei ritzayna, in order to forget the Torah and then transgress under the chukim of the Torah. Shahoya oz b'yemei matisyo kishamda malchus yavan harishol al amchi Yisrael lashkicham Tairosecha, because the whole point that they had, the Yevanim knew, so long as we are connected to Torah, we can't do anything. That's why when it came to Esav, right? Esav said he can't wait till his father is going to die. Then I'll be able to get back at Yaakov Avinu. What's the connection? Oh, because when Yaakov Avinu, if Yitzchak Avinu dies, Yaakov Avinu can't be learning Torah. Yaakov Avinu can't be learning Torah. The Torah is the Shmirah, right? Torah is the Shmirah. So Esav says that I can get him. So long as Yaakov Avinu is learning Torah, he can't be touched. The same way, like we know the story with David HaMelech, right? David HaMelech knew that on Shabbos he's going to die, right? So every Shabbos, David HaMelech would learn Torah. Hashem told him. He wanted to know when he was going to die. Hashem told him, I'm not going to tell you when you're going to die, but you're going to die on a Shabbos. So David HaMelech, all Shabbos long, was learning Torah. He didn't sleep, he didn't do it. He was just learning Torah. Because the Malach HaMavis can't touch the person if he's learning Torah, right? And then the Gemara tells us that he made a noise in the yard, in David HaMelech's garden. He made some kind of noise. The Satan made a big noise. So David HaMelech was learning, and he was he wanted to see what was going on, though. So as he was walking down the steps, he tripped. He was tripped. He was tripped by an angel. He was tripped. Therefore, he had to catch his balance. For that second, he wasn't learning because he was trying to, and that's when the Satan was able to take his neshama. So the Yevanim understood, so long as we have the Torah, we can't be touched. Right? We can't be touched. Maybe that's why our government is always challenging Torah here as well. I don't know. I'm not sure. Right? I'm not sure. But why they would they want to attack Torah, I don't understand. But either way. Ki ikar koyach malchus harishah hu al yedei shviras kelim umisham ikar yinikasam kayadua, because the whole idea of forgetting Torah, and the whole idea is again breaking vessels, the same way the vessels were broken with Adam Arishan when he ate from the Eitz Hadas Torah. Ikar ayedei ahavas hanefulin shehem taivas rois. And how does he do that normally? To make us love things, misplaced love, right? People love different things. And people even make the expression, they love to eat this, they love to eat that, I love this, I love that. That's the expression, right? That's the use, right? Why? Because of this idea. But this idea, taivas rois. V'ikra al yedei ahavas hanefulim shehem ahavas taivas rois. Al yedei zeh heim roitzin lisgaber al yisrael levatla me'avadosa yizbarach. They try to get us to be mevatel our avodas Hashem. So they come up with different movies and they come up with different games and different things in order to be mevatel us from learning Torah. All these distractions. Come up with all the different distractions. V'al kein ein lahem koyach ki im kishe'ena nekuda zu bechinet tzadik meishel me'ira hanekuda umechnas umevatelas oisam, and that can knock them out. So in other words, if we connect ourselves to the nekuda, again, the same thing we're learning about the meal, right? When we have a meal together and we're eating, and then we have Torah at the meal, and then the two other people study the Torah, then they speak it over, and then everyone internalizes it to the nekuda and the leiv, so then we can be protected against all of this stuff out there that's trying to distract us from our avodas Hashem. Right, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is, we are HaKadosh Baruch Hu's mamshala, right? And that can break all of the embarrassment that we have in the heart from doing the wrong thing. Because every time, look, let's face it, if a person does something wrong, after he does it, he's thinking, what did I just do? He has an embarrassment, right? But you can avoid the embarrassment if you allow the Nakuda, which is the tzaddik, you allow the Torah to touch the heart, you can avoid the embarrassment because you'll be learning Torah, you'll do the right thing, and you'll have joy in the heart and not the embarrassment. Make sense?
Absolutely.
Okay. V'azai heim in nisbatlin legamrei ve'ki ein koicham ela misham b'china shvira. They only have the koyach when we allow them to break. And that's why the Chashmonim went into the Beis HaMikdash and they broke everything. They broke all the jars. They broke everything because that's where the koyach is when they break. When they break things. Okay. V'azai kishe'ein me'ira chas v'shalom nekuda. And when this nekuda is not shining, when the nekuda of the Torah, when the nekuda of the tzaddik, when the nekuda of the simcha in the person's heart is not shining, so bechinas tzaddik ma'ishel, bechinas malchus, ki ika aras ha-nekuda u bechinas malchus peh. The main thing is the malchus is bepeh. Again, when a person, like we learned the importance of learning Torah and speaking the words, right? Saying the words. Especially when we read the words of the Torah. Remember, we were learning the idea we can lighten the souls of the Jews that are all connected to the letters in the Torah. Right? Every Jew is connected to another letter in the Torah. When we read Torah and we recognize that we're connected, and every Jew is part of the Torah, and every word in the Torah is special because every word in the Torah is connected to another source neshama, so we could light up that neshama. We could bring light to that neshama. Bechinas Yosef, who Ashalid, Yosef was the ruler, right? Bechinas Yisrael Mam Shaloisa, Bechinas Kol Yisrael B'nei Malachim Heim. Kol Yisrael Ben, isn't that a beautiful statement? Kol Yisrael B'nei Malachim Heim. We're all princes, right? We're all Jewish people are royalty. K'she'ei Me'ira. But when we don't allow the nekuda to shine, when we don't allow that bechinas malchus, and we're not speaking the words of Torah malchus bepeh, azai hey misgaber ma'idei, then they're misgaber on us. That's when they get in. In other words, the same like we said the example that Esav says he wants to wait till Yitzchak Avinu dies. When Yitzchak Avinu dies, then Yaakov Avinu won't be able to learn Torah. Then I can attack him. Right? When David HaMelech the Sultan was waiting till he wouldn't learn Torah, then I can attack him. It's the same idea with us. It's all the same idea. These are the examples for us as well. When we're not learning Torah, we're not thinking about Torah, we're not thinking of Hashem, so then then we start thinking about everything else. Then the Malchus Harishah gets in. Either you have the Malchus of Hashem, right? Either you have the Malchus of Hashem, when we are B'nei Melachim, we have the Malchus of Hashem, or if we're not connected to that, so then we have the Malchus of the Risha, the Rishas. Okay, V'ayidei she'ein me'ira nekuda shul b'chinas Malchus z'gedush. V'al kein rotzu ha'yevonim levatel es Yisrael min ha'Torah. Now we understand what their whole method was. They said the Yevonim understood that so long as we have Torah and we're connected to Hashem, they can't affect us. Oh, so what we're going to do is we'll figure out a way to distract them from serving Hashem. How did we do that? Because if we do that, then they're not learning connected to the Malchus of Hashem, so then they'll be connected to our Malchus. And what did they do? They tried to entice us with their ideas, right? The whole Hellenism, and it was working pretty good actually, right? Most Jews became Hellenists. Right? Most Jews became Hellenists. They were buying into this idea that their life is a better life. Unbelievable. Right? They wanted us to forget the Gamri, and they stood up against us in order for us to forget the Torah, because Torah is this Ora Nakuda. That's why the whole idea of Chanukah is the light, because it's Or, light, the Nakuda of the Malupim, that Nakuda, that's the whole point of it. They wanted their Malchus to overpower our Malchus. And they were doing a pretty good job at it. Right? V'chein amru, kisfu lachem al keren hashor, she'ein lachem chelek be'elekei Yisrael. They made a strange law. They made a strange law. You know, today, sometimes in the car you have an inspection, right? You have to put a sticker in the window, right? And if you don't, they give you a ticket, right? So they gave tickets out if you had your animal, your shor with the horn on it, and you didn't have it written on there, Ein lechelek belekei Yisrael, you got a ticket. Could you believe that? Ki Yisrael nikroim chelek elekei. Elekamimal. Because we all know we all have a chelek elekamimal inside of us. We know we all are connected to Hashem. No, but they wanted us to forget that we're connected to Hashem. We have a neshama. So they tell you to write an al keren ashor she'ein lachem chelek belekei Yisrael. But wait a minute, we are a chelek of Hashem. They wanted us to forget that. V'bechinas ki chelek Hashem amoi. V'chein Hashem yisbarach nikra chelkeinu v'gar eleinu. Hashem is called our chelkeinu v'gar eleinu. K'may shekosav Hashem enas chelki v'koisi. V'bechinas ani chelkecha v'nach lasecha. Right? This is the truth. Hashem says, I'm your nachla, you're my... We're connected to each other. Hashem says we're connected to each other. It's not that, but they said no. Right on your horn of the shore that you don't have a chelek elikei Yisrael. That's amazing.
After that, Nakuda, meaning...
Yeah, you don't have your neshama.
Right. They knew...
It's amazing how our enemies know. Well, Yossi, you said that in every house in Gaza,
Yeah.
they had a picture of Harabayas, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Right. That's what you said, right? So did they know?
Right.
They knew then and they know now. It's amazing, right? It's truly amazing. And they were fighting for the same thing. The Yevanim wanted the Beis HaMikdash the same way they want the Beis HaMikdash. The same thing. It's the same fight.
Well, they knew where to go to the source to really try to...
I understand.
Yeah.
No, but and that's why Hamas knows when we're not strong in Torah, they can attack. And the Satan works with Hamas. So that's why the government is trying to mevatel the Torah. They work together. It's amazing when you really understand what's going on. You put the things together. You can really understand what's really going on. Why is there a fight against Torah here in Eretz Yisrael? Why are they specifically picking on Torah? Why specifically that? Because that's the same. They're joining forces. Because HaKadosh Baruch Hu chose us. He's Bacha Banu. Hashem chose us. See how special that is? Hashem chose us. And Hashem gave us His Torah. And giving the Torah is giving us the blueprint of the world. Right? Hashem is Takal Araisu B'arei Olam. Hashem looked at the Torah and He created the world. Right? HaKadosh Baruch gave us His Torah, which is His essence. And He gave us over His Ratzon in our hand. Like we explained yesterday, the Rashi in Lech Lecha, right? When HaKadosh Baruch Hu said to Avram Avinu, until now I held all the bracha. Now I'm giving the bracha over to you. Right? Hashem says, I want my Ratzon to be like your Ratzon to be like my Ratzon. Hashem says, who can control me? The tzaddik can. Because Hashem makes a gezerah, and the tzaddik can be mevatel the gezerah. And Hashem loves that. Because Hashem doesn't want there to be a gezerah. He doesn't want it to be a decree against the Jewish people. So when we have a tzaddik that goes up against Hashem, so to say, and he's able to be mevatel the gezerah, it brings joy to Hashem. It's not Hashem lost. He wants to lose. Right? The same way if you're playing with your kid, right? And you're playing a game. So right, you want your kid to be able to win. And then when your kid wins, you're happy that your kid won. That's HaKadosh Baruch Hu. He's happy when we win. K'may shemavoya kol zeh b'mayma nimsa Yisrael heim kiviyachol moishlam b'Hashem Yisbarach. It seems like, so it comes out that we really can control Hashem. Hashem makes a gezeir on somebody, they're sick. Hashem wants us to be mispalel so the sickness can go away. Right? Hashem makes a person, he doesn't have a shidduch. So the person daven so he can have a shidduch. Right?
We see that from the Parsha, from the Imahot. They
Yeah,
were
yeah.
pregnant and Hashem wanted their tefillah.
That's why Hashem made them akarot, right? They were barren. They were barren. Why? Because Hashem wanted their tefillah. Exactly.
I think
Well-
also that's what happens with the government here. Like Hashem wants them to learn Torah better. Yeah. For someone who's not learning, so the Hashem makes all the conditions, that they should really think.
Well, that's the way. In general, that's the way. When you can't have something, then you want it, right? That's the way we generally are. When you have something, then it's not important. But they want to take it away from, then it becomes very important, right? Is that true? So that's what Sasha is what you're saying, right?
Yeah.
I will take away the Torah. No, I want my Torah.
So much sit and learn. We all know, what's going on with in the Shiva.
Yeah. Okay.
Not everyone is like,
There's a story about lazy.
No. I truly believe that also. The guys that are learning, they have to learn.
Absolutely.
The guys that are just sitting and bottling the day and playing with their phone and sitting in the coffee room all day, so let them go out and do something good with their life.
I've been to Shiva.
No, but there are guys that are learning.
Absolutely,
Yeah, so those guys have to keep learning. The guys that are just sitting around, they're not learning anyhow. So then they're just wasting their life. So
Hashem shows, that like yeshiva should be taken seriously.
Of course it should be.
That's why all the matzah are around the yeshivas. Just
Okay.
Make it more serious.
And therefore Hashem says that we're His chelek and His nachlo. How do you like that? Unbelievable. Shel Yisrael, b'chinas ani chelkecha v'nachlasecha. I'm your chelek and I'm your nachla. Hashem says with Klal Yisrael. It's amazing. K'may sheyesh l'adam chelek v'nachla shehu sheloi. The same way, if you have your part, you have your home, you have your piece of land. The same thing. HaKadosh Baruch says we're His nachla. You could do as you want when you have your house. You can decorate it the way you want. You can plant what you want in your field and so on. You do what you want to do. How do you like that? HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants us to control Him. He wants us. That's why He gives us the idea to daven. That's why in the tefillah we have the Shema Kaleinu. So, right, every morning when we say in the Shemon Esrei, we can add a tefillah in there. Hashem wants us to add the tefillah in there. Say, daven, ask Hashem. He wants you to. K'may kein kiviyachal Yisrael hey Moshe Mizbarach v'al kein nikra chelkam v'nachlasav v'zeh shamer kisvu lachem she'ein lachem chelik v'lekei Yisrael. So they understood that. They understood that when we daven to Hashem, we can control things and we can make things better. So they said, okay, so write on the horn that you don't have a chelik in HaKadosh Baruch Hu. If you don't have a chelik in Hashem, so then obviously you can't control anything. They wanted to be mevatel this idea, to nullify this idea that we are controlling Hashem. You understand? This is amazing that we're learning this now, right before Chanukah. What was the whole idea? We have the koyach of tefillah. That's why they say when you're sitting by your Chanukah candles, the koyach of tefillah by the Chanukah candle is very, very powerful. Right? Why is the tefillah by the candle very powerful? Because that's the nekuda. That's the or ha-nekuda. So you're connecting your tefillah to the light, which is the Or HaGonas that Hashem hid away at the end of time for the tzaddikim. That's the Or HaGonas, the hidden light. Right? The hidden light is the hidden light of the Chanukah. That's why you can daven and the tefillahs are so powerful when you're sitting by the Chanukah candles. Why? Because you're connecting to that nekuda. Ve'al kein rotzu sheyichtavu Yisrael she'ein lahem chelik b'Yisbarach. And therefore they said, no, you have to write on the horn. You don't have any chelik in Hashem. You must write that on your horn, or else we're going to give you a ticket. You get a summons. I'm making a joke of it, but that's what it was. She'ein lahem memshola b'Yisbarach. That we have no memshol, we have no control. They wanted us to believe we have no control of Hashem. We can't do anything. We can't change anything. V'bechinas chelek v'nachla, v'bechinas ani chelkacha, ki heim rotzu chas v'shalom levatal ha-memshola she'Yisrael ha'yadei she'yizgabru la'ashkiach teirosai. How are they going to do that for us to forget the Torah? And that's why the whole advertisement business and the whole thing is to get us to forget Torah. That's the whole theme. It's against us. It's not for the world. It's all for so we should we should get attracted to it, to be mevatel us from learning Torah. It's amazing. Shehu bechinas hanekuda sheikar memsholah shalanu b'Yisbarach, because the main memsholah that we have is HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Sheyiyah Hashem Yisbarach chelkeinu v'nachlasenu. Hashem has to be our chelkeinu. He's our part. We're part with Hashem. We're one with Hashem. Ayidei shemasa b'yadeinu teirasa, because HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave us over His Torah. But Shehu Ritzayna, He gave us over the Ratzon. His Torah is His Ratzon, is the will of Hashem. And He gave it to us. You understand what that means? And they understood it. The Greeks understood it.
That's
Hey,
interesting.
Ratzu Levatel Zayis Chas V'Shalom, what?
Rabbi Riskin told a story
Yeah.
about, I don't remember the name, but he was a terrorist. And he was in jail. And he was going to get out soon, whatever. And he was looking at the guard, and the guard was eating a ham sandwich. A Jewish guard eating a ham sandwich. He said, oh, they're not ready yet. So when he got out, he became terrorist. And Rabbi Riskin knew him personally, went to see him and says, what's going on? Why are you going back to being a terrorist when you were moving away from getting to negotiating? He said, because you guys are not ready. I saw the guy eating a ham sandwich. They
Yeah.
know.
They know.
They know more than we know in some ways.
They believe it. We know it, but we don't necessarily believe it. That's the problem. They know it and they believe it.
But that's such a fascinating story, which is
There's millions of stories like that. Right? There's millions of stories like that. Well, it's not for nothing that every house in Gaza has a picture of Harabayas. They all decide. They all came up with the same idea. That's what they understand it. Baal came timu kol hashmanim. Oh, and then we said this: the oil is connected to tzaddik. So that's why they had to specifically defile all the oil. Right, the oil is the ner mitzvah Torah or, right? The whole idea they had to defile the oil, b'chinas shemen mishchas chodesh, right? Okay, b'chinas hamaychin shemisham nimshach hanekuda. The oil is connected to the mayach. That's why when the kohen had to always be anointed. Why did they anoint him? Because that's the oil. The oil. Okay, b'chinas tzaddik meishel. Ki ikka bechinas hatzadik meishel bechinas hanekuda hu ayadei bechinas sheva mishchas chodesh, again through the holy oil, through the holy oil. Bechinas hamoichin dahainu ayadei shmiras habris, through again purity. Shu shmiras hamoichin, watching the mind, because we know the seed starts in the mayach and it makes its way down to the eva, right? Lishmar hamayach v'adas lekadesh shelatar adas mehirhurim sheloi lifkan betipe hamayach has v'sholem. So we should not defile, right? We shouldn't be metame, defile the tipa of the mayach that winds up coming down into the aver to the zera. Okay, that's where it starts out in the mayach. K'may Yosef HaTzadik she'omer ben Nisayin v'loi pagam ba'amayach. Isn't that amazing? We learned this Yosef HaTzadik, this week's parsha Vayeshev. He stands up against Mrs. Potiphar right here. Come on, is that not? It's amazing. Chanukah, it's amazing. Gussie, come on. We got Chanukah. It's amazing. Hina Samayach. Al Yedei Zeh Zocha LeChochma Uvina Bechinas Ein Novan VeChocham. Right? It says that Paroi said that there's Ein Novan VeChocham Kemo Yosef. He was the smartest guy, right? Al Yedei Zeh Zocha LeBechinas Yosef Hu Ashalet Shu Bechinas Tzadik HaMoshel. Right? He was the tzaddik, and he again was the ruler. Why was Yosef the ruler? Because to teach us that the tzaddik is the one that's Moshel. He's the one that can rule. As we said, the whole idea was, why was the nace of Chanukah through the Kohanim? Because he said the Kohanim are the holiest ones. Right? The Kohanim can't marry a divorcee. The Kohanim can't go into a cemetery and so on. They have more there's more stringencies when it comes to a Kohen and his Kedusha. Therefore, it's through the Kohanim. Again, because they had more Shmiras HaBris, Shmiras HaMayach, and so on. Sheim Bechinas HaVidusha Bechinas HaKoyen, Sheshoira Eitzel HaBris Sholem, Eitzel HaNekuda, Kamavai Heite B'Mav. Okay. So that's the same idea. Shal Yedei Zeh, Nisbatal Shviras Leiv, or Nisbatal Malchus Rishah, Shenikotza Misham. The whole idea comes, again, when a person has the cherpa of the leiv, he's embarrassment, so that brings him to depression. He becomes depressed. And that's where the depression is, where we allow the Sitra Acha in. But again, when we can have simcha in the heart, that's the antidote against the depression. That's the opposite of depression, and that's how we can be protected. Because then we can be mevatel all of those misplaced loves, the things that people love, and all the different desires that they have. By having the true love, which is connected to the Kohanim, Sheshoira Eitzel Ara Nekuda, unbelievable. It's such a beautiful, I think it's a beautiful lesson, right? We understand now why the Yevonim actually were specifically picking with this idea, She'ein lachem chelek b'leikei Yisrael, right? We have no connection to Hashem because HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave us the Torah, and the Torah is our connection in order to be able to control things and to make things better. And they wanted to avoid us from doing that, and therefore the nays happened specifically through the Kohanim. Okay, so Mitzvah Hashem will continue this tomorrow. Okay, we'll talk about the Kohen Gadol and the Mitzvah Hashem. Now let's learn halacha quickly in Kitzur Shulchan Aruch.
So basically, when we're born, we're thrown into the secular world so that we can then fix ourselves and get closer to Hashem.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, let's go. Can we have it? It's a long one. Let's go. Quick. Kitzur Shulchan Aruch, Siman Chav Test 29. We're in 29, Yud Gimel. Kol haseine echad mi Yisrael b'libay oive b'loi saseh. Okay, that says there's a loi saseh in the Torah. Leisisna sachicha b'lavavecha. You're not allowed to harbor hatred against your fellow Jew in your heart. So if you hate someone, you're over on a loi saseh, right? It's a negative commandment. And this is what I was talking about before. What happens if somebody wronged you? They did something wrong to you, whatever it was. Lo yistimenu v'yishtai. Don't harbor the hatred in your heart and keep quiet. K'mayshen nema b'rishayim v'loi diber avshalom im amnon l'meira v'atoiv ki sonei avshalom es amnon. That's okay. Don't worry. We had a story with Avshalom and Amnon. What happened?
Wait, who was Amnon? I know Avshalom. I don't know who was Amnon.
He was the one that actually violated the sister. I think it was Tamar. He violated the sister. He was angry. He didn't do anything. He didn't say anything, and he wound up killing him. Oh. Because he kept the what do you want to say, David?
One of David's sons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but he kept the hatred in his heart. He didn't tell it. He didn't tell him what it was. Ella mitzvah olav la'idiyah v'loima. It's a mitzvah to tell the person. So if someone does something wrong for you, it's a mitzvah for you to go over to the person and tell them, "Hey, sir, you did this and this to me." You tell them, it's a mitzvah to do that. Lama asisa li kach v'kach v'lama chatasi li b'dav hazeh. Why did you do this wrongful thing to me? Why did you do this to me? Shenemar haychiach teichiach esamisecha. If someone does something wrong, you have to rebuke them, right? And let's say he says, you know something, I'm sorry, you're right. I didn't realize, whatever, I'm sorry. So then you have to forgive him. The guy is genuinely, he's remorseful for what he did wrong to you, so then forgive him. Don't be a brazen person, a cruel person. Shenema v'yispalel Avram el Elokim. Avram Avinu David to Hashem. What happened when Avimelech was plagued because he took Sarah, right? He took Sarah. He was plagued. What happened? Avram Avinu Daven for Avimelech. Wait a second. The guy took his wife. You see that? So Avram Avinu, even he took his wife, he's still davening for him. Ba'avas the Rab Nosson, the sinas habriyos ketzad. How does it work for hatred of briyos? Melamed shelo yechavin adam loimer el ves hachachamim usina es al tamidim. A person shouldn't say, you know, I love all the chachamim, but the students, I don't. The students are no good. No, don't do that. Or you love the students, but then all of those people they're not affiliated, they're non-affiliated ones that don't know, I hate them. No, don't do that either. Love all Jews. But those that are apikorsim, those that are heretics, that don't believe in Hashem, or mesisam, or those that are being maces, they're trying to cause people to do wrong, or madichim, v'chein hamoisrim, if those people are telling on Jews to the government and so on, right? V'chein David Amar haloi misanecha Hashem esna u'miskaymecha eskoita tachlis sina sinesam lo'ivim hayu li haloi hu aimer. He used to say v'hafta l'recha kamaycha ani Hashem.
So it says you're supposed to hate the apikoursim.
Yes, you are allowed to hate the apikoursim.
Well, what about the fact that everyone has a good point that we can
You
see?
can hate the apikoursim, but you can daven for the apikoursim. They should do tshuva. I would like to say like this. I'd like to add something, okay? I would like to say, let's hate their actions and love them as a person, okay? I hate their actions, but as a person, they're nice people. Then you can't go wrong.
Gemara, I think, says the Deborah brings that someone who mevaze amei haaretz, the mida keneged mida, his children will not be having chelek in the Torah.
Yeah. You don't do that. You're always better off. You can hate actions. There's no problem with that. There's no avera to hate someone's action that he did wrong. But you don't have to hate the person. Right? Why do you have to hate the person for? The person's a good person. He's good. He has his chelik elikamimah. He has his neshama. Anyway.
So in the sentence it could say, those who hate you, those who act against you, I will hate their actions.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
But those who...
The sins, not the sinners.
The sin, not the sinner.
sin, not the sinner. Right?
There we go. Beautiful. Hate the sinner, the sins, not the sinner. There, beautiful. Matam, ki ani barasiv, because I'm the one that created them. If you're doing something good, I love you. In love, iyata aheva, then I can't love you. Again, let's call it on the actions. If you're doing good actions, I love you and your actions. If you're not doing the good, if you're doing things wrong, I love you, but I do not like your actions. And we'll leave it like that, okay? Is that right? You like that, Shalom, to say it like that? Okay, Baruch Hashem. And we'll do the Yud Dalet tomorrow, everyone. Thank you for coming and listening. And I think it was a nice lesson to learn about Chanukah, Yosef Atzadik, and connect it all to Bentching and our wives. I think it's a beautiful Baruch Hashem. Have a good day. We should all hear Besara Tova.